we've got to talk about porn. Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Not that sort of porn, you fucking idiots. We're talking about tool porn. Every luthier loves a bit of that, don't they? It's very quiet around here at the minute. People ask me all the time, what tools do you use to work on your guitars? I was hoping that by making videos that I release every Monday, people would be able to make their own kind of lists and see what I use. But it appears we have to make a dedicated video, so I'm going to make a dedicated video. It might be boring, it might be shite.
Probably.
But we'll do it, and we'll just go through and I will reach back to the wall of bollocks and pull out what I think we need. You don't need a banana, that's not essential. But it's, you know, it's good to have one around in it, just in case you get a little bit bored. So first things first, what do I use? Well, let's go through what I tend to use. I always say don't buy shit tools. Some tools you can get away with buying a bit of shit, but mostly don't, all right? So I'll show you what I use. There are cheaper alternatives, and I'll go through a bit of that. I haven't got many of the cheaper alternatives. I'll throw them away if they're bollocks, if I'm honest. But let's go through some of my basics. Leveling beam. Now you'll notice the recurring theme. I buy a lot of Crimson stuff because they make shit hot gear. Guitars and woods, if you're on the continent of Europe, and StewMac if you're in America, or Crimson if you're over here, they make some of the best gear, right? So if you're a luthier and you do it for a living, which still excites me a little bit, nipples, I buy good gear. Right, Crimson leveling beam for leveling frets. We're not going to go through how to use them. I'm not going to demonstrate the tools in this video. I'm just going to list what we need, and we'll end up with a nice rack of essential bollocks.
Yes, please.
Crimson leveling beam. It comes with things. It will come with rolls of sandpaper, which is adhesive backed, which sticks on various grits. They will come with that. I don't know how much it is. Have a look yourself. I might put some links below the video, but if not, you can just go to the Crimson website, or I haven't got affiliate links at any of these sites. I have got a cheaper leveling beam that I've got a slightly coarser thing on. So a cheap leveling beam, I don't know, you've got to guarantee that it is completely flat. It's just a cheap shit one I've had around the workshop for a long time. But again, if you get something, put it on something that you know is completely flat, like a machine bed or whatever you've got that's a reference at home. Kitchen workshops are not always completely flat. From time to time, I use an engineering grade ruler from Rutland's. This has been ground completely flat to a hell of a tolerance, and I can check things with that. So, leveling beams. We've covered leveling beams. Are you still awake? Stay awake. This again is a Crimson brass hammer. You've got to sell a kidney to buy one. Sorry, Ben. It's very expensive, that one. It's lovely though. It's got a teardrop handle. It smells like love. You can buy a brass jeweler's hammer. We use brass because it's a softer metal than the fret metal, so you can't fuck up your frets when you whack it.
Good afternoon, Peter.
You don't want to use a proper hammer because you will damage things and it's too much. So get yourself a brass hammer. Go on Amazon, look at jeweler's hammer. Just search brass hammer and you will find something very good. You need one of them for tapping in your frets. I'm sending myself to fucking sleep here. You need some sort of neck support. This is one that I made, incidentally. There are loads of different types. I mean, they've got a Daddario one. Thank you, Daddario, for sponsoring my videos. You've got a Fender one that I've got here. This is a bit of a squishy one. I like this one that I made because it is very, very solid. So if I'm hammering a neck, it's very supportive. It's a great bit of kit. So make your own. It doesn't have to be circular. It just has to have a nice indent with a bit of fluff in it. Piece of piss. That way, when you're tapping in your frets with your brass hammer, you can support it right under the fret you're tapping and tap away. Lovely, all right? So that's a good one. You need a good neck support. These, you can buy these everywhere. They've got like cork linings. Get a good one. Find some on Amazon. It doesn't have to be particularly posh. Incidentally, when guitars are on the bench here, if I've got a whole guitar laid out, oh, my sexy telly, I lay it on that, which is just some blocks of crap fixed on with a cloth on top, and that just holds things nice and flat. That's it. I mean, you don't have to get elaborate. You don't have to go, I'll leave that there just to show off my guitar. First one I ever made, that Crimson course. Well worth the money, everyone. Right, notched straight edges. I've got a box of these down there. Mine aren't ready yet. This is one from Crimson. This is one tool that I would not scrimp out on. If you're a guitarist and you're going to be playing guitar for the next 30 years, if you buy a not straight edge and it costs you 45 quid, it's an investment, not a toy. All right, that will last forever. It will outlast you. This will outlast me. It's a wonderful, wonderful bit of kit, and it needs to be absolutely honed perfectly underneath. What else do we need from the wall of shit? You need to get yourself a cheeky rocker. All right, cheeky rockers are not all made equal. If you buy a shit cheapy one, you will have to hone it yourself because it will look a bit like my ruler. The edges will be what's technically known in the trade as bollocks. Fortunately for you, you can use your wonderful leveling beam and you can straighten out your cheeky rocker and you can make sure that these surfaces are dead flat. If they are not dead flat, then that is wasting your life. Let's get rid of the guitar. Don't need that. We don't need props. Of course, some massive spider webs up there. Seamless matte change. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you to Dario. Right, so we've got leveling beams, we've got neck supports, not straight edges, we've got a brass hammer, we've got a cheeky rocker. If you're using your leveling beam, you will need to recrown your frets. Now this is a point of contention, all right? Because a recrowning file, if you buy a shit one, it will be no good. Definitely it won't touch stainless steel, but you have, if you're gonna buy a recrowning file, because you're gonna be doing full fret jobs, you have to buy a good one. Mine are both from Stu Mac. This is the centered Z file, which does pretty much medium and a small traditional fret size. It's a diamond file. It's absolutely brilliant. This will last for years and years. And it recrowns frets very, very quickly. When I say recrown, it just means put the shape back on the top of the fret, or mostly. I've also got this one here for modern massive frets. Not that I do a lot of that, I've only used this once. This is for when you build a guitar and people want fucking sausages on the fretboard. That's a sausage file. I don't use that very much, but that's the jumbo stuff. That gets you most of the way. Right, what do you do after that? You need a fret end dressing file. This is basically a really overpriced, I mean, this is a diamond one again from Stu Mac. You don't have to get a diamond one. You can get cheaper ones. Calico, in the UK on eBay, they make some great stuff, actually, some great files. It's got safety edges with no filage on, so you can touch up your frets, all right? If you want to know how to use these tools, watch my videos, watch other luthier videos, and you'll see how they use them all. You can dress frets. Instead of using one of these, you can use a triangle file. It takes a bit more skill. Watch Ben Crow's videos, some of his earlier stuff, and he'll show you how to use that. I'm not going to show you how to use it. I don't do it that way anymore because that thing is so much fucking better. But it does work and it can get you exactly the same results. Definitely. I find that the finer diamonds on this leave you a lot less work on the side of your frets than that beast. That wee beastie. Now, polishing frets. This is something that I've discovered recently. I was approached by a company called Fretilizer, which I thought was said Fritzel. It doesn't. So all jokes aside, Fretilizer. And they sent me some gear. They paid me to do a video. I said to them, if you send me the gear and it's shit, I just won't make the video, but I'll keep the gear because I'm an asshole. And they said, that's fine. We're confident. Lovely. I got it. I used it. I've used it loads since. And it's absolutely brilliant. So it's what I recommend to you for that. Fretilizer clobber. You've seen this in the videos. You've got a spot leveler that you put bits of sandpaper on. That is to replace my Stu Mac fret kisser, which I've got to be honest, I don't use very much anymore. I prefer that with a bit of sandpaper. It's way more effective. That is an absolute monumental bit of kit. Love it. Really works well. Watch some other videos, I demonstrate it all the time, all right? It fucking bores me. But more importantly, it comes with this little doodah, a 3D printed Wannabunner with Fritzel written on it. It's got a shaped bit on the top. So when you put your sandpaper on there, with your patented rubber band that they like to get all excited about, when you go over your frets and you polish with this, it crowns the top. You're only using 1500 up to like 8000, so you're not really removing material, you're just polishing. You don't have to worry about going too far. That gets you amazing fret finishing, really, really fast. So I recommend everything from the Fertilizer website. Go and check that out. There is a link below. It's not an affiliate link. I don't get paid for your referrals from them. Are you still with me? So I told you this is porn. Who's come yet? I love tool porn. My mother and father-in-law watch these videos. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, you watch these. What else is next? One other thing that you will need is proper, there's about 30 more of these in the drawer, proper screwdrivers. A full set of every size imaginable. Those are my 5 most used, but we have all the other sizes. Screws that come with guitars are just every type of head size imaginable. And if you use the wrong screwdriver on them, you round them out, you cause yourself just untold misery, and you just fuck it all up. So get yourself a full set of screwdrivers. There's loads. Draper, don't buy proper shit. Stanley, Draper, whatever. Set of 25 on Amazon. I think they're about 40 quid. Again, they'll last forever for guitar building because you're not really stressing it out. They are absolutely essential. Decent screwdrivers. Right, now we're getting into more specific stuff. Stuff that you can't fuck around with, and stuff that if you're going to do that job, you need to have the right gear, right? So this is the one that hurts people the most. Nut slotting files. Everyone puts off buying them because they don't want to spend £75 on 6 little tiny files that are just going to do one job on a guitar. However, they are the only solution I've found. People use pipe cleaning files and all that sort of stuff. If you want it to be perfect, you have to buy the correct thing. This is like a mini set from Hosco. It's got 6 files, and they are the size that matches gauge 10 to 46 strings, and they will cut your nut slots perfectly every time. You get this little blue doodah with magnets, and you can use that as a filerson. I used to use that all the time. I've used that for about 4 years. It's been brilliant, no issues at all. Only with the twat using them. Hosco, StewMac, everyone does their own version now. You can get them. I've just bought the full Hosco set. They come like that. So I've just bought this full set. I think I bought 14 of these. I think they're 140 quid. And I had to buy my own handles to put them in. And they are amazing. I've got a drawer full of them, every different size. Brilliant. But that little Hosco set, that will get you going. That is great. My voice is just going, I feel like that old guy that's talking about dinosaurs in Mrs. Doubtfire. So nut slotting files, you can't fuck around, all right? Unlike me with that dog outside, I'm going to shoot it in the face because it hasn't stopped barking since I turned the camera on. I think he's called Alan. Oh, no. Right, what's next? What can we not get away with? Nut Monk. So nut lubricant makes a massive difference for tremolo guitars, especially if your nut's a bit shit. Big Ben's Nut Sauce, this is called, which is better than Nut Monk, to be honest. Very overpriced, but you have to lubricate your nuts. So that's another little tip for you there. Many jobs can be accomplished with the humble feeler gauge, right? The thickness feeler gauge. I use these all the time. Very, very useful. That is a cheap tool. Radius gauges, strings on, strings off. Also very useful for setting up string. More often than not, you're not going to be working on the actual fretboard, but you are going to be working on the strings, and the radius of your strings in the bridge need to match the radius of your fretboard for obvious reasons. So you need one of them, and you can sit it on the top of your strings very gently and make sure that they're all pressing down at the same time, and you can make sure that your strings are the right radius. That is very useful. So you can use that one to check when the strings are on. Oh, I've got a 12-inch radius. That works fine, doesn't it? So then you can use that one and match it on the top. You can get these from Fertilizer. They do all them. I've got StewMac ones because I'm a snobby prick. Fertilizer stuff is also very, very nice. Favourite one at the minute, the string depth gauge from StewMac, which is absolutely a wonderful bit of kit. You've all seen it used. It's about 170 quid. It's the most overpriced, pompous tool I've ever bought, I think, but I love it. When you're talking tool porn, this is it for me, yeah? It's like a fucking luthier's love egg. Brilliant. But you don't need it. You don't need that. But it is lovely for consistency and checking actions. If you want to check your action, you can use your standard action card. Everyone knows how to use one of them. And if you're setting up your own guitars, that's fine, because you can fuck around and you just adjust things. Quite often your actions are relevant because you're just going to go as low as you can until you get string buzz. So that'll be different for different guitars. There's different magic in different fretboards. Not everything is created equal, but that's a useful little tool. What else can I say that's funny? Right, that is a neck support caul. Just for sitting your neck in, little cork doodah. Sit your neck in, you can work on loads of stuff with that. They're pretty cheap, very, very good. And there you go, and there is a sanding radius block. Now that is a 12-inch, so if I'm making necks or if I'm re-sanding necks that have got no frets in, I can use that. But that is a wonderful bit of kit. Again, that costs approximately 17 kidneys. It's a lot of money. StewMac, you're very expensive. They do make lovely gear. It's proper. StewMac is basically Pornhub for tools. They're probably not very happy with me saying that. But I've said it, so fuck it, it's been said. Right, so that concludes this video. I'm not gonna bore the shit out of anyone anymore. There is a myriad of other tools you can buy. You need a fuck ton of sandpaper, loads of it. Oh, there's a cheaper sanding caul. You can get cheaper sanding cauls. You need a ton of sandpaper, going from 80 grit right up to easily 800. Go to your local big box store, get yourself some sandpaper. This is officially the most boring video I've ever had to make. It's a load of wank. Get yourself loads of rags. Get some spunk wipes. You need all that sort of stuff. You need a nice clean area. You need a dirty area. You need to, watch loads of videos. I'm not putting links to any of this. You can find all of this. You can reference this video. You know what to search. I've given you the names. You can go Googling. Go down your deep rabbit hole, all right? But not on the dark web, not on the Tor browser. You don't want to be using that. Don't use the Tor browser, gents. It's not the way forward. Stick with Google Chrome. Or if you're on Mac, some of you are, I know, because if you're on, Mac users are like vegans. They've got to fucking tell you within 7 seconds of talking to you. You enjoy Macking, whatever you do over there. Yeah, we've got so much better productivity suites.
How dare you?
I'm going off on tangents now, and I'm going off on tangents. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a pretentious video. There's a few £100 worth of gear there. I always recommend working on your own guitars and learning fretwork. If you want to make a guitar, lovely, amazing. I can't recommend anything more. But start off with your own guitars. With your £150 Harley Benton and whatever, they all need a bit of fretwork. If you can master fretwork before a router, then you're already on the way to becoming a decent guitar builder, or having the knowledge to know what you're building. For me, setting up all these guitars on a Monday has undoubtedly made me a better guitar builder. The variation and the things and the problems you have to encounter with setup, and not just the stuff that you build on repetition, is such valuable knowledge. Get yourself started, all right? If you do, comment below. Let me know how you get on. It's all good fun, gents. It is good fun. And once you can set up your own guitars, you will improve your playing, you will improve your love of your guitar. You'll pick your guitar up more often. Definitely, because you'll turn it into a fucking whopper. I'll see you next week. Sorry this video was so boring, but you've all asked for it, so I've made it. So it's your fault. See you soon. Love you. Oh look, Matt North. You called.